The following program may contain language of an adult nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Views and opinions expressed on the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of alltalkradio.net.
Before you find the one who has your love, one that has that touch. Kiss a lot, kiss a lot, kissed a lot, I've kissed a lot. Gotta kiss a lot of frogs before you find the one who has your love.
Well, hello, welcome to the LjG I Hate 'Em But I Date 'Em show. It's I Hate 'Em, E-M, not him, H-I-M, just to clarify. So it's about men and women who complain and bitch and say they hate each other, but they still stay married or live in separate bedrooms. It's me, LjG Lo, and my bestie, Martini Milf, today, welcoming Bill Guzenski. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Miss Thing. This is Martini Milf. What do you have to say, Martini Milf? This is show 39. Oh, we don't have a caller today, but if you know my cell and you want to make a call, go right for it. I think my assistant in the corner over here will help me with that.
Which, by the way, she should get some kind of credit on today's show.
Absolutely.
Jade definitely needs to have.
Jadekins.com. That's her credit, okay?
Nice.
Jadekins.com. Yes, little baby and puppy coutures. First, let me start before I talk to Bill today because he's amazing. He's a race car driver. He is a car builder. He is a car fixer. He has his own show. Before we get into it, I just have a couple announcements to make. Do you mind, my guest?
No, of course.
Thank you. Okay, like you have a choice, right? I'll be like,
right,
just hold on a minute. Okay, first of all, tonight, Friday, April 3rd, we are doing our first LjG show, I Hate 'Em But I Date 'Em, live appearance, and we will be signing autographs, and hopefully you can donate something to keep the show going, and we'll give you a CD. It's just a demo, and we are going to be at Bailey's at, what is it, Ron? 4341. This is the president of my fan club joining us today. This was a nice surprise. We were supposed to meet out front, and I was a little late today, so here he is. So tonight on North Rancho, 4341 North Rancho, at Bailey's Sports Bar with Mad Mike and Crazy Dave Corral. One more thing before I forget. Sorry, Bill. Hold that.
No
hold
problem.
that, okay?
No problem.
Let's see. Smoke shop. Are you quitting smoking or you love smoking? Which one, right? Where is this? Sorry, guys. Angela. What is the address? Can you help me out, Ron? Lo siento mucho. I'll tell you what. I'll look for that in a moment. I'm so sorry. Town Square Smoke Shop is the name of it, and if you mention the LjG show, you will get 25% off, which I think is crazy, but they said yes. Oh, here it is. You can get a vapor. There are a lot of macho men out there. What was that? Town Square. It is 6085 South Rainbow. Cigars, smoking accessories, and drinks, and just mention the LjG show. Here we are today.
Very
we
nice.
have a great show. Thank you, Bill.
Of course.
Bill has his own show, so he's going to be a great guest today, okay?
I've done it a couple times.
Tell me about, I want to start from scratch. First, I want to know, before I forget, where can people watch your show, or what are your websites, or what can you tell us?
Okay, we've got a couple of websites. I have theguyinthevideos.com, which is a website that basically we do how-to videos, and we haven't posted a bunch lately. I worked with another group a couple of years ago where I've made a little over 180 how-to videos about building race cars. Just basic maintaining.
All types of race cars?
All types of race cars. Okay. I've raced just about everything that you can race, with the exception of airplanes, and that's next.
Ooh, but you said motorcycles.
Oh yeah, I did. In fact, I had a world record. I had a pro stock motorcycle world record years ago, and I had it for 2 whole minutes, which was fabulous. But I did have the record. They were in the middle of interviewing me, and then my one of my nemesis, Ed Mazzolini, who is a fabulous guy and raced for years after that, he actually broke the record the very next pass, right after me. He broke it by 3/1000ths of a second.
Wow.
And it was very close.
Who
very
even
close.
who even know 3/1000? What kind of
Yeah,
meter
yeah.
or what kind of apparatus do you use to test
it
something
goes
like
to
that?
the tenth of a thousand. It goes to the thousandth of a second.
Okay.
So
I love math,
so 3/1000ths of a second. He beat the record by 3/1000ths of a second. But as they said, the interviewer was talking to me and he says, "Hey," he says, "I'm sorry, I'm going to go talk to Ed. He just broke your record." And I said, "I don't care about that. Do I still get my certificate?" And he said, "Absolutely. You still had the record for 2 whole minutes."
That's awesome.
And that was actually my first world record. I've had 7 total of my
7.
own,
Okay.
my own
And
personal
what-
world records.
Wow. You know who else won a world record?
Who's that?
Our guest here, our co-host, dog Rio.
Really? For
Yeah.
what?
For what? What was it? Martini Milf.
Pet house. It's Pet House.
Pet House.
Pet House. Sexy Dog of the Year.
Wow, very nice. The Pet House sexy
Yes.
dog.
Sexy dog.
That's nice.
I thought that was a race car driver thing. No, so he won.
No, she didn't.
Oh, she-
But you know what? I just want to tell you what Romeo says.
Yes.
I like to drive the cars fast because I'm from Mexico and I'm not a low rider.
Ooh, see, now that's a good one. We will definitely check that out later. If
She
you,
says,
if
I like the men that drive the cars fast because they are so sexy.
oh yes, sexy
Nice.
cars. I love sexy
And that's
sports
it
cars.
for the guys. He said, she said.
Well, thank you so much, Romeo and Rio. They appear every week. Who the heck is that? Sorry?
Somebody
Out of
trying to
nowhere?
date you.
That's very weird. Yeah, I got some weird. I hate him, but I date him. Bill.
Bill?
So Bill.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, here's Martini Milf's question.
Okay.
I've heard do you do NASCAR? Is that what I'm?
Well, I worked in NASCAR. That was one of my, as a job, I did that for several years. I worked in Busch Grand National Racing with Bobby Hamilton, the late Bobby Hamilton, before he passed away. He drove a car that I worked on. And then I worked for Roush Racing for a period of time as well before I started having children. And then I basically hung up the professional racing side of it. And I've still been racing ever since and still done many, many forms of racing. But as far as going out, 24 to 42 weeks out of the year, that pretty much ended. I decided being a father was more important. And so I went on and did some businesses. And
Of course it is.
And,
it
and-
trumps everything.
Absolutely.
But here's my question. I heard there's a lot of NASCAR groupies.
oh, my gosh. It's
His wife is
unbelievable.
by the way, his wife Sandy's here, and she's super cool. Just so you all know, she's super cool.
Groupie, but
Say hi,
I heard
Sandy.
there's a lot of chicks out there that want you guys.
It's amazing. It is absolutely... It is amazing. There are tons of them that follow the race circuit.
Hold on, Martini Milf. I want to
Okay.
introduce you to Bill's wife, and I'm being honest. I've known these guys for a couple
wow,
years.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I've known them for a couple years. His wife is super, super cool, but I do want you to say hello to her. She's beautiful. I wish you could see her. Well, we're going to bring you in on the end, but can you say hi to Martini Milf?
Hey, Martini. How are you?
Hey, sweetie. Hey, I'm just following up. You know what I heard.
Oh,
and
I
I'm
know.
not saying that your
I
husband's
absolutely
a
get it.
scumbag or
I am
knew
one
you-
of those groupies.
But I've heard there's a lot of NASCAR hosts.
Wait a minute,
There-
she's one of the groupies, she said. Is
Yeah.
that how you guys met?
No, but I'll tell you, no, it's not. It's not how we met,
Ron.
but it's
So like that's how they met. Okay.
it's not how we met. But I did tell her when we first started dating. I said, understand this. I said, this is my second wife. My first wife decided somebody else's husband was a better choice, which actually it was a better choice for me too.
Okay, of course, because
so-
Sandy's the bomb. Sandy is going to come in the screen
Absolutely.
later. Absolutely.
So when
Love her.
when we started dating, I told her very early on. I think first or second date. I think or third date. I
At
said
least the second.
Second date.
Was
Yeah.
this before or
first
after
one
you
was-
had you know what? Now my little one's in the studio today,
No, it was
so
after.
you know what? You know, like
It was
this.
after.
Oh,
It was way after
Oh,
that.
wait,
Second date.
Second
Wait.
date, at least.
Was this done on the first date?
Yes.
Yes.
I've had the first date, and you're married.
Oh, yes.
So that's
That
awesome.
it happens. She must be very good, and you know what?
I had
Yes.
in
It
the
was
beginning.
absolutely
Oh
awesome.
my God!
I'm telling
know
you.
sign
Here's the
language.
thing. Here's the thing. I got to tell you this. So I'll go on to the story about what I told her originally with my very nice. What I told her.
Lo siento mucho.
What I told her originally was, I'm going racing. I was married to a woman that wasn't interested in it, and I can count the number. I am responsible or part of 87 different world records, and I can count the number of races on both hands over a 20-year marriage that my wife actually went to the races.
Wow.
So when I started dating Sandy, and when I dated every woman that I dated after my wife.
And how many was that?
I don't know, 6 or 7 probably.
He doesn't
That's
have many
pretty
fingers.
105.
No, not that many.
He doesn't have that many fingers.
6 or 7 women in
Nice.
your whole
I
life?
don't have that many fingers.
Wait, 6 or 7 women in your whole life that you've dated?
Probably 10 in my entire life.
Wow. Okay.
Well, after I had
Is
sex
that-
with them, they wouldn't leave.
I know that, obviously. You couldn't get rid of them. That's why your ex-wife stuck around so long. But Sandy's the bomb.
So anyway,
Sandy's a sexual beast,
So
I'm
when I
just
told her, I said, "Look, here's the deal. I'm going to be racing 22 to 25 races this year. If you don't come to the track with me, do not be surprised if some sexy little redhead doesn't come home and help you pack."
Wait, me? No, I'm just kidding.
But I can tell you this: she has not missed. Well, I would say she has not missed a single race. But here's what happened: when we went to our very first race, she actually ended up getting a job with the racing organization. so
she
it was
did.
really funny. So the next year we were out racing. So she made every race that year, obviously, since she was working for the racing organization. And the next year when we went racing, we had conflicting events. She had to work a race that I wasn't racing, and I was racing at another event. And so as we're getting ready to part separate ways and go different directions, she said, "Now wait a minute. I want to understand something." I said, "What?" She said, "Now, when you said if I don't go to a race with you, some redhead's going to help me pack, it doesn't count if I'm going to another race, does it?" And I told her that she gets a pass.
That's
she gets
cute.
a pass on that one.
I love
So
her. See, I love cool women. I'm a cool woman until my husband lies or tries to be deceitful. I had a guy that I was engaged to that always looked at other women, and
Right.
if he would have been honest and just said, "Oh, she's beautiful," and shared it with
Yeah.
me, but he was very sneaky.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
sneaky.
I'm not sneaky when I flirt right in front of her. It's not
Yeah.
a problem.
I love it. Okay, I have a question for you because I've promoted you like crazy about I tagged a lot of men
Okay.
because I know a lot of guys that are into
Right.
racing and
Sure,
stuff like that. And
sure.
you do so much. He doesn't just race; he builds cars
That's
and
correct.
work on hot rods and stuff like that,
I
right?
do.
You had given me a resume about what I find intriguing is how you started like with your dad
Oh,
and what they used
yeah.
to call him and how you got into it. And I think it was your 8th birthday. You got
I got a snowmobile, and I started racing snowmobiles
Yeah. At
right
8?
away at 8 years old.
Because my
yeah.
little one is like almost not. I can't even imagine.
It's-
But you're a boy,
I-
so
Well, here's the thing. When my oldest son, who's now 22, I got him for his 8th Christmas, I bought a junior dragster. And a junior dragster
What's
was
a junior dragster?
A junior
I just said hello to the
dragster.
little one.
Junior dragster is a little miniature dragster that they drag race.
how cool.
And he was only supposed to be, because he was 8. He was only allowed to go. I think he had to stay under 75 miles an hour or
I
something
thought
like
you were
that.
going to say stay on the front
Oh,
lawn.
only
No.
75?
Well, and here's the
What's that,
here's the
Martini?
funny thing about that, Martini. Here's what happened is
Martini.
this. So I'm a guy that my 6 horsepower lawnmower makes 9 horsepower. Everything I have gets modified. I mean, I don't have anything that's stock. It's all hot rodded up. I mean, everything is hot rodded up.
You should do my Lexus 3000.
We could do that
300.
too.
Could you
We could do
imagine
that
like a
too.
mom mobile? Boom, boom, boom.
Oh
That'd
yeah,
be cool.
getting it. So anyway, so I built an engine for Alex's go-kart, Alex's junior dragster, and we went out there, and the first pass he made, he ran 107 miles an hour.
So it runs in the family.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I got in big trouble with
Need for
that.
speed.
Yes, and so does
did
my
you-
son
you got in
actually.
big trouble
My
from?
kids too. I got in big trouble from NHRA when he went down to the
Oh.
track. They said, "Now, how old was he?" And I said, "He's 8." And they said, "You know, he's only allowed to go 75." And I said, "Well, we'll have to
Yeeks.
slow it down a little
Yeah, you
bit."
got to tell him, not me. You
Well,
know?
there was no way
Is he a
to.
Cub Scout?
No, he was not. No, he's not. But I can tell you this. But I can tell you this.
For Derby?
What's
You know
that?
that stupid thing they do with Cub Scouts?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he would have put lead in the back and
Yeah.
he would have blown
He
out all
did-
the other Cub Scouts.
He
Oh,
did
how
that
cute.
stuff. We had a deal. We had a deal like that in church. The little Pinewood Derby cars. He won. He
Yeah,
came in second
that's
place his
cool.
first time out doing that. So it's awesome. But anyway,
Is that the one I met? I thought you said he
Alex.
was.
The one-
he's-
yeah.
How old is he?
well, the one you met was 17. He's 6'5" and 225 pounds.
The one I met?
Yeah, that's
6'5"?
That's 17.
No, no, that
Oh
was
no, you met
Alex.
Ricky. You met Alex. That's out. You met
Oh,
Alex.
I was
Alex
like,
is 22.
I was like,
yeah.
boy, I better get some glasses.
Yeah.
I want to hear about. So your dad got you into it. You started doing it. When was your first race? How did it feel? Like I can only imagine. I love to drive fast. The fastest I've ever went was in my
Adrenaline.
3000 GT, and it was 140 miles an hour on the New Jersey Turnpike, was it, or the New Jersey Garden State Parkway?
Okay.
And it felt so good, but it's so scary when you're not trained like you. If God forbid anything went in front of it, I'd be dead. So I want to know what it felt like to race your first car and obviously to win.
You
the
know,
first race. That must be such a high.
It really is, but honestly, I have to tell you and it really was a great time. I enjoyed every time I've gotten into a race car. To this day, my leg still shakes on the first pass,
Really?
and every time.
That's interesting.
Every
Yeah.
single time. And then as soon as either the green flag or the green light goes, all that goes away. All the anxiety, everything is there because it's a total focus of what you're doing at that time. I mean, you're totally focused on it. So winning my first race, I actually did win. I actually did win my very first
You
race.
won your first
so
race?
I did.
Wow.
Quite a bit. So it's been pretty awesome.
Oh, Martini Milf, you have a question? Thank you, George.
She's
Martini
raising her
Milf.
hand.
Go ahead. Yeah, she's raising her hand.
Did you have any skid marks in your pants?
You know, there's a couple of very scary moments. There were a couple of very scary moments, and no skid marks ever in my
You
pants.
could laugh out loud,
But,
Ron. Ron wants to grab
In your
We like audience
Never-
participation.
wherever they may be.
I never had that problem, but I did have a couple of very, very, very scary moments. I was on fire at one point for 29 seconds.
Yeah, you
that
told
was
me about that.
That was a
What
very
did that
spooky
feel
time.
like?
Wow.
What did that feel? Did you think you were ever
hot.
going to get, what's that?
A little hot.
Yeah, it got
little
hot.
hot.
Yeah, it was. It was real interesting because when it was going on, what happens is, in that race car, we used halon for fire extinguishers, and what halon does, it just basically displaces all the oxygen. So you take a big deep breath, and then you push the fire bottles, and you basically wait for the car to stop. My problem was I had the parachutes got wrapped up underneath the car,
That's a
and
problem.
and it tore my brake line, so I had no brakes.
Wow.
I actually went off the track at a little over 200 miles an hour.
Wow.
And it was a very scary moment.
Well, your suits are fireproof,
have-
right? But
yep.
how long does that? I know about fireproof like safes and how long they
Right.
last. How long does a suit and a helmet and everything how
At-
long can you be on fire before it hits your skin?
On that, when I was in that race car, I was wearing what's called an SFI 20 suit, which basically means you got about 45 seconds before you get to second-degree burns. It doesn't mean it's not hot before then,
Right.
because it was
So
hot
you're
before
like,
then.
hurry the F up.
Exactly.
Like, get to me now.
But my eyebrows, it did get under my helmet, and the only thing that happened was I just burned my eyebrows off.
you know
and that's
what?
why they don't grow.
I have some pencil for that because I do
Nice.
mine. So I
Nice.
do
And guess what?
Very
I lit
nice.
the grill one time. In my house, I lit the grill and I leaned over and I burnt my eyebrows too.
Oh, yeah?
And now every night, whenever we grill, husband has to grill.
Well, you know, husband has skid marks in his shorts. That's why she asked
and
you
my
that.
bangs.
Okay.
Well, you know, do you remember Chanel? Chanel lit her hair on fire one time in my living room. She leached.
Was that a bet? Did she do that on a bet, or was
Well,
that?
no, we were all sitting around watching. You're gonna laugh. Like it was like not eight, isn't it? What is one of the
Yeah, 90s.
one of the shows? And she leaned over. She had long blonde hair, and it stuck into my candle.
Nice.
And I took a huge cup. I was like, everybody was like, duh. And I
Look
was
at
like,
the pretty
I was like
lights.
a maniac. I was like, stop! And I grabbed the cup, and I was like, psh, I took her head, and I went, psh, with her
Were there
hair.
adult beverages involved?
No.
Or no adult.
Not
you guys
for
were
me.
completely
That's probably
sober.
why. Oh, I was totally sober. Oh, I don't drink.
But you're always sober.
I only smoke.
What about Chanel?
Not cigarettes.
Nice.
Very rarely.
Oh, so there you go. So you were smoking
No,
non-cigarettes.
I wasn't.
and
Honest, I wasn't. I swear.
you were going,
That's probably
wow,
why. I was
dude.
like, stop.
her hair's on fire.
Hey, Bill,
Was
what
Chanel
about
sober though?
what?
Or didn't Chanel have some
You're
adult beverages?
cutting out. What'd you say? Say it again.
I said, was Chanel sober? Or did she have
She
some
was
adult
sober.
beverages?
You remember her? She was a hot piece of
Yes.
ass.
And speaking of adult beverages, Martini Milf has something to show you.
Every week, Martini Milf
She
has
has
a
a
martini
martini.
of the week. I would love to hear what your martini in honor of our special guest is. What today?
Glass? Do you know where it came from?
Say it again, please.
Do you know this glass and do you know where it came from?
Yes. I don't see it yet. Hold
Here.
on.
It's the red glass you'd gotten her.
It's like a tulip
That thing's huge.
martini glass.
I remember the red glass. I collect martini glasses, and I don't even drink. But every one I get for myself, I get for Martini Milf.
You sent her one too?
Yes.
So you guys have matching glasses?
Yes.
If you ever decide to drink, you can drink out of the same glass?
Exactly. Well, she's in
Perfect.
New Jersey, by the way. She's Skyping in from
Right.
Jersey. You
By the way, they're just spilled
You
down
better
my
hurry up
chest.
and get in your
But
fast car.
remember, you got on a flight.
Alcohol abuse.
Well,
Alcohol
For you, Bill?
abuse. Yes.
for my boy Bill, this is because I love this glass. I don't know if you can see. It's red
gonna
and
look.
it's sexy
Go look.
and
Go
it's
look, Bill.
tall and big. And
It's
I
like-
call it the Fast and the Furious Martini.
Yay!
Very nice. Hey,
Thank you.
and you know what? And that's a great thing,
And
especially
I
today.
put in a little tiny bit of Fireball.
Ooh,
this
Oh,
is a
nice.
I like
sexy
that.
martini, and you guys can't even see, but I threw actually, the Fireball, the candy?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I threw one in there. It's floating around.
Nice.
But I had to put it in this great glass that you bought me. And I actually love it. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're
Thank you for making that in honor of Bill.
And you give me these strange, look at this glass. I don't know if
And
you guys
We
can
love
see.
it. We've looked at the glass. And are you drinking today, by the way?
She's chugging it right now.
And I gotta
Every
tell
week
you,
she drinks.
here's the
Yeah.
cool thing. Here's the cool thing too. Okay, because I am a huge, and I am a Fast and Furious guy. I have some.
Yes.
I have 29 cars and a couple of very fast imports,
Wow.
including
You should name some of them.
all my
They
cars
all
have
have
names.
names.
They all have names.
No, I mean, tell us what they are. I love fast cars. I want to hear from you today, especially for the viewers. What are these
Because she's
cars?
a
What are
fast
they?
woman. She likes fast cars.
Well,
I
what
love
we're
fast
doing
cars.
right now,
I
our
love
current
gentlemen.
car, our current car is called the current car that we're playing with in racing is called Serenity. It is a 2009 Nissan GTR.
Okay.
And
Nissan's a good brand.
About 1,600 horsepower right now. We're getting ready to put a new engine in it that should be over 2,200 horsepower to the tires.
A lot of men are getting a Woody right now.
So we're
and I'm
gonna-
getting wet.
We're gonna try to be the first
like,
car. Nice. We're gonna try to be the first car over 300
Sorry,
miles
Sandy,
an
it's
hour.
just the car.
We're going to try to be the first car over 300 miles an hour
When is
in a
this happening?
standing mile.
When?
Well, we're going to do some shakedown passes next weekend at the Mojave Mile.
You're talking like another language. What's a shakedown pass?
A shakedown
pass
pass-
is one way around the
Well,
track, right?
this is a straight line car, and it's
Okay.
a standing mile. It's like a drag race for a mile.
Okay.
And so we're going to shake the car down. We have a new engine, a new we've upgraded some things. So before you start trying to go 300 miles an hour, you want to make sure the car will still go 250. The car's been 247 before.
Okay.
And so we want to make sure that we are able to get that the car is safe and operates correctly over the at that speed. So before we go too nuts, we want to make sure we make a shakedown pass. So
Okay.
we're just gonna. It'll be a. I say a shakedown pass. It's probably going to run between 225 and 250.
I'm confused as far as maybe a lot of the men know. What would be the difference if you have a car that goes 250? You had to go 247, 250.
Mm-hmm.
What would make the difference for it to go faster? Like, is it the engine? Is it
Another-
a different way to step on the pedal?
No,
Like, what
more
is that?
horsepower. More horsepower.
Okay.
We're making when the car went 247, we were putting about 1,150 horsepower to the tires. Now we're making over 1,600, and
Okay.
the new engine that we have will make over 2,200.
Okay.
So the 1,600 horsepower, the car should run between 260 and 270.
Wow.
And then
Scary.
And we're trying to run at Bonneville as well and set another world record there.
Awesome. When is that?
That's in August,
Okay, August
second
what?
week, second weekend of
So
second
if
week
people
of
want
August.
to come see you,
Yes.
Bonneville, this is important
Bonneville,
to
Salt
let them
Flats.
know where
Absolutely.
you are because you'll have fans after the show and they're going to want to see you. And Sandy's racing now.
Sandy is racing
Your
as well.
wife is racing.
Sandy
I want
has
to hear about this.
Sandy has been
Where's
very
Sandy
fast,
at?
and
Sandy's racing.
Sandy's gonna make her first
stay here for 1
her
second.
first driving 200 mile an hour pass.
Just stay here for 1 second. I just want them to see. Go ahead. I
All
want
right,
them
she's
to
coming
say
in.
hi.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Yeah, exactly.
So Sandy's gonna start driving this. She's been driving already. She's raced already. She's
How
been.
many times?
How many times, honey?
About a dozen, maybe.
Probably a dozen
Honey,
times.
Honey.
So she's run about a dozen times. Her fastest time that she's driven was 180.
188.
188.
Okay, that's
Serenity.
48 miles faster than me. I'm going to have to get out there.
And now she's going to go this week, this coming up week. I'm going to, once I make sure the car's safe and stable.
Yeah.
The car will be the same. I just want to make sure the engine is safe and stable because it's going to be all brand new.
Right.
And so probably a 225, 230 mile an hour pass. But she was in a ride last year. How fast did you go last year with Summer?
242.
240.
And it was Thomas.
Oh, you were
Scott.
Scott. Oh, you were riding with Scott.
I
yeah.
love speed, but
A
when I'm
Ford
not in
GT.
control.
Yeah,
I
Ford
don't-
GT.
yeah.
She went a little over 240 miles an hour with Scott in the Ford GT.
You're going to laugh at
Which
me.
is awesome.
I had a 3000 GTSL. What's the GT? All I know is I love the
Stands
car.
for
It was
Grand
a Mitsubishi.
Touring.
There you go. Now I know, and I had it for 9 years. It was a fast, freaking car. Thank you, Bill. I'm learning a lot today, and I hope you guys are too. I want to hear about your car clubs.
Okay, well, we.
How do you get in them? What does it involve? How do you get in them?
So I'm a member. So I'm a member of the oldest car club in the country, which is the Sidewinders Car Club. It was one of the original. So out in California, they have a group called the Southern California Timing Association, which is basically, honestly, it's where real racing started. Okay, they were racing on the dry lake beds. They were racing at Muroc. They were racing at El Mirage. They were racing at all these different dry lake beds around Southern California. The kids were just getting off the streets, and they needed a long place to where they could race. So a bunch of clubs formed the Southern California Timing Association. At that time, I think it started with 2 clubs, and it ended up as high as 12. And now I think there's 10 clubs left. There's only 2 original clubs left, and mine is the oldest, the Sidewinders Car Club, and we're out of Glendale.
And you can't just get in a club, right? You said you have to actually be interviewed. Or how
You
does it
can,
work?
but you have to be
For those
voted in.
that are
You
interested.
can, but you have to be voted in. And
What does
so,
that entail?
Come to one of our club meetings and bring a car and tell us what your interests are. We want people that really have a legacy or that really are interested in it. There's a whole bunch of folks. There's a whole bunch of folks that. And God bless everybody that has a bucket list that wants to go hunt a grizzly bear. Bonneville and El Mirage is a kind of a sacred place for me.
Don't kill animals.
Bonneville's a real sacred place for me. So it's one of those deals where I feel that I've had, because I have world records and because I work on actually the world's fastest car, which went 462 miles an hour.
Was it the Speed Demon?
The Speed Demon,
I
yeah.
just happened to look down at my notes.
Yep, Speed Demon went 462 miles an hour.
miles an hour.
So because I work on that
Did
car,
my homework.
I've had a lot of people that have wanted me to build cars or they wanted to drive my car, and because it was their bucket list thing. I'm really to get in the 200 mile an hour club. The 200 mile an hour club is setting a world record over 200 miles an hour.
That's not like the Mile High Club.
To put that in perspective, more people have reached the summit of Mount Everest. More people have been to outer space than what are in the 200 mile an hour club. So it's a very prestigious
Wow.
place to be. I'm not in the 200 mile an hour club,
Impressive.
even though I've been
Wow.
over 375 miles an hour. I'm not in the 200 mile an
Wow.
hour club
Okay.
because I didn't set a record.
Interesting.
So for me to usher somebody in and hand somebody that, it just isn't going to happen. Not because it's going to be me first, but because I want somebody that has legacy. In fact,
Right.
A gentleman that was driving last year for us or with us, Don Breidenbeck Sr., he passed away this year. He was 84 years old, and he was actually racing at the Dry Lakes in 1946 is when he started. So when I was approached, because Don was a sidewinder back in 1946, so I was approached by Don, and he wanted to he wanted somebody to help run the car for him and help kind of walk him through this because he hadn't done it in 63 years.
Right.
So I said, I'm not really interested in that until he told me a story that he was actually out there originally. And at that point, he just kind of captured my heart. We did that whole thing. It was fantastic. I was very blessed, honored. One of the things that Don wanted to do is he wanted to go over 200 miles an hour at Bonneville last year in September. I'm sorry. In September, Don Breidenbeck, after taking a 63-year break from Bonneville, went back to Bonneville Salt Flats, and he made 5 passes, all of them over 200 miles an hour. And I didn't know it at the time, but that turned out to be his last pass. But I'm so blessed to have helped him do that. So
See, that's what I love about you, because I know him personally. I love that you have a love for racing.
Yes.
You're a good person. You're a good father. You're a good husband. And I know that
Thank
because
you.
I've talked to Sandy and
Thank
vice
you.
versa. I mean that. Like, there's a lot of people out there that it's all about the stature and this and that, but
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
very,
Thank
very
you.
much into this. Yeah, and this is your heart. This is your life.
It is, and it truly is, and I'm so blessed to have a woman that's that is going to race with me and have
Yeah.
some fun with me. That's
I don't
the,
like that. Just so you know, Sandy, I don't like it because I don't want you to get hurt. Like, I'm upset. I'm glad he's happy. I'm not. Okay.
well, only one of us races at a time,
Yeah.
and so somebody will take care of the kids no matter what. So, but the thing is here's the deal. It is our passion, and it is
Yeah.
something that it's our passion, and so we're going to continue and do those things, and that's kind of the direction we're going in.
Can you tell me about your show? About how you teach people to fix cars, and we might actually do something together, correct?
I'm excited about doing that too. What
Okay.
Lauren and I have been talking about, and if you guys want this, please tell her.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm all for it either way.
Can I just tell them where to tell me?
Yes,
You can
tell her where
me
to tell her.
at ihateembutIdateem.com. ihateembutIdateem@gmail.com will be on the site.
Perfect.
I'm sure they would want it. Trust me.
They'll figure out a
guarantee-
way.
I already have a lot of fans.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do it. We're going to do a little. One of the things that I have a very difficult time with is I get a lot of folks that get taken by their mechanic or don't know if they're getting taken by their mechanic. There's all
I
kinds
know
of
I'm
people.
getting taken, but it's like you have no choice sometimes. As
You
a
don't know.
woman,
You just don't know.
You don't know what things
So-
cost. You don't know what they are.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a segment. We're thinking about doing a segment called "How Not to Get Screwed by Your Mechanic Unless You Want to."
Love that.
I thought
Okay,
that.
Martini Milf, what do you think about that? I love it. How not to get screwed by your
no,
mechanic
thank
unless
you.
you want to. Actually,
Although,
If the mechanic's a hot stud.
yeah, there's a lot of cuties at Lexus. Lexus on West Sahara. It's a lot of cuties. Shout out to Corey and
Oh, so hear that, Corey?
These
Corey
are-
at
and
Lexus.
Joel.
Here you
Joel's
go.
my
And
guy.
Joel.
Joel's my guy. He fixes my car. He fucks. Oh, excuse me. My
What
daughter.
did you
he
say?
F's me in the. You know what? Okay, but I love him. He's great. And you
Nice.
you might know him. He was
And
at
the wallet.
John Anthony event.
Yeah.
You know John Anthony.
Oh,
the singer?
yes.
Yeah, he
yes.
was at the
John
event.
Anthony's awesome
John
too.
Anthony is going to come on here soon, and you know what?
That's
now that
awesome.
you've been on, you tell him he's better get his butt on the show.
John will do it. John will love it. But anyway,
right.
so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do a car show. And we're basically gonna give you a little segment about what to expect when you go and get your oil changed. When they always come up to you with the air filter and say, "Oh my gosh, this air filter, I
Yeah.
can't. It had 3 moth wings in it, and you
Yeah.
must change it.
Yeah.
It's $49, and we can do it here right now." Well.
And we're like,
the
oh,
moth
okay.
wings, you just knock it on the cement, and if you can see through it, if you can hold it up to the light and you can see through the filter, it's fine. So we're going to show you all those things, all the little tricks, and to make sure that you need to maintain and take care of your car. It'll take care of you forever, but there is such a thing as over-maintaining it. When to change your oil, how to change your oil, how to check fluids, making sure your tire pressures are done correctly. All this stuff seems so elementary, but when I've had car shows and I've had shops, many shops in the past, and I would have once a month, I would have a Saturday, and I called it a powder puff deal. And of course, I can't do that anymore because it's now 2015, and women would be pissed about that. But we'll have some kind of a. Well, I mean,
we'll
good. I mean, you know what I mean.
I like what you called it.
So-
It'll be a long title. Though,
It is.
But we're going to do this
and
together.
that's.
Good show.
But what we'll do is,
love
anyway,
this.
I would have these clinics where I would have them at my shop, and the women would come. They'd bring their own cars. I would teach them how to change their own oil.
That's awesome.
And I would, especially when you're talking about a single mom or
Right.
a single woman that doesn't know.
Right. Even changing a tire. I could not change a tire right now.
Absolutely.
We have 1 minute, so I want
Yeah.
you
Yes.
to promote yourself right now and give your sites out that
Okay.
people can find.
All right.
Okay?
I've got several websites. One of the things we have ShadeTreeAutoParts.com. That website is in the process of coming up right now. ShadeTreeAutoParts.com is going to be a place where you can buy all your OEM replacement parts. Probably in the next 45 to 60 days, that site will be up and running. Of course, I have Fast Cars Network. If you want to build a hot rod race car, that's where you can buy all your hot rod parts. We're basically an online retailer like Summit and JEGs. That site is coming up as we speak. And then, of course, I'm doing some things with Steve Huff Motorsport. Steve Huff is going to be a co-host with me, or I'm going to be a co-host with him. We're having a show called Speed Freaks that's going to be
That's cool.
on television.
What
And,
where? What network? Or
I can't
Well, you better
disclose
tell
it
me,
yet.
and I will promote it.
I will.
Okay?
So
I want to be on that show too.
So we're going to have a lot of fun. That's
Yeah.
going to be all about. When it comes to the Speed Freaks, the science of speed, think of MythBusters meets Top Gear. It's going to be
Love
an
it.
awesome show.
Awesome. That I cannot wait to watch. Go to ihateembutIdateem.com for t-shirts, anything you want. Tonight, Martini Milf, we wish you were here. Tonight, Sandy's coming, Ron's coming. Is it tonight? Yeah, it's tonight.
It's
oh my
tonight.
God. Tony, hopefully, George, my nugget can't come. We are going to be at Bailey's Bar, Sports Bar tonight at 9 p.m. sharp. I'm probably going to sing a song if I can take a Valium and not be so nervous, and sell some CDs and try to raise some money, and a meet and greet. We will see you at Bailey's tonight with Crazy Dave and Mad Mike Corral. Thank you so much for joining us with Bill Guzenski and
Thank
wife.
you.
Come here, Sandy.
Hi. Bye.
And we're going to have music and we're going to dance.